this week's best MMA bets. We're talking UFC Vegas 79. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, my most confident picks. We'll talk my favorite underdogs, prop/value bets, and then finish it out with the parlays. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and make sure to share the video as well. Last week was a home run. We pushed the lock streak to 5. Roman Kopylov getting an impressive win. This week, I'm feeling real good about the lock of the week too. So without further ado, I want to jump right into it. The lock of the week. Bryan Battle over AJ Fletcher is going to be this week's lock. I think he's coming through with high confidence, guys. Looking to push it to 6 straight locks. I got Battle. Line currently sitting at -185. He's got so many advantages in this fight. I mean, looking at just one standalone advantage, he's the taller guy by 3 inches, and he's got a 10-inch reach advantage. Bryan Battle has decent kickboxing from the outside. Definitely has some knockout power in his hands. I mean, you look, he knocked out Gabe Green in one punch. Gave a tough out, clear loss to Rinat Fakhretdinov, but still was able to go distance. And then look what Rinat did to Kevin Lee the fight right after. AJ Fletcher, his height is not necessarily undersized for 170 pounds, but his wingspan is extremely short at 67 inches. Battle's going to have a huge edge on the outside. I also think that length edge is going to play a potential factor in their grappling entanglements. I believe that the side of Bryan Battle is quite live for a submission as well. So Bryan Battle to win the fight, Bryan Battle to win it by sub. I'm feeling high confidence towards Bryan Battle. That's why he's the lock this week. As far as the submission prop, I'll read that off here. Bryan Battle to win it via submission, currently sitting at +275. I definitely think he could strangle AJ Fletcher in this matchup. I think he's out kickboxing him. I think the wrestling defense, at the very least, for Bryan Battle will definitely be there with AJ Fletcher's wrestling offense. I could even see Battle potentially fending off takedowns, finding himself on top in the scrambles. It's Bryan Battle all day. Longer guy. I think the better guy between the two. He's an Ultimate Fighter winner. And at the end of the day, let's look at the resume in the UFC. 4-1 in the octagon. AJ Fletcher currently 1-2. Fletcher coming off the win over Themba Gorimbo. To me, this is a step up in competition. Bryan Battle's a good fighter with a ton of upside potential here. And he's a lock of the week for me. I've been confident on him in the past, and I called him the lock of the week against Gabe Green. I'm doubling down again. We're going Bryan Battle, lock of the week to make it 6 in a row. It's going to happen, and I can't wait for Saturday. Guys, that is the lock of the week. I do want to jump to the next section where I'm going to drop my most confident picks on the card. I'm going to drop a nice 4-peat. I'm going to put them all up on the screen right now. We have Marina Rodriguez, we have Jacob Malhoun, we have Andre Fialho, and we have a ladies fight, Mizuki Inoue. So 4 of them, and I got to bring up Rodriguez first. It's also a ladies matchup. It's a rematch between Michelle Waterson and Marina Rodriguez. I expect this fight to look fairly similar to last time. I got Rodriguez here at -300. So betting odds-wise, it's a little wide, but looking at their first fight, I don't think anything happens differently, especially in a 3-rounder. There's an argument that in a 5-rounder, this could be a different fight. But in 3 rounds, I think Rodriguez's gas is going to be there. She'll fend off Michelle Waterson's takedown attempts and trips for the most part, and she outstrikes her. I have Marina Rodriguez for a clear win. I think she's getting the decision. Currently, the decision prop is -180. It's a shitty line, but it's a realistic outcome. It's going to be Marina Rodriguez beating Michelle Waterson. -300. It's a high confidence pick, obviously, regardless of the lines here with this section. I think she's getting it done. Next one is Jacob Malhoun. We got another wide favorite. This one here now sitting at -700. It's expanded substantially. Cody Brundage is a +500 underdog, but he's completely outmatched in this fight. I believe that Malhoun is the superior fighter in the grappling department, where Cody Brundage's game is best. It's going to be Malhoun chain wrestling him probably all night long. There's a slight chance he gets a submission, but note that Malhoun has not got a submission win yet inside of mixed martial arts. Doesn't mean it's impossible here, especially if he gets to the back of Brundage. Plus 300 Malhoun sub. My official method of victory prediction is plus 135. Malhoun to win by decision. I see Malhoun getting it done. He's going to pull it off, and I see him winning this fight by a decision. I think it's a grind-heavy attack. He takes out Cody Brundage with a pressure game, controls him a bit, beats him up from the top position, and gets a unanimous decision win. But sub is live. Minus 700 is a terrible money line, so he's more of a parlay piece. At the end of the day, for Brundage, this is a big step up in competition. For Malhoun, this is a pretty strong step down in competition. Malhoun was close with Brendan Allen in a fight, and Allen's a ranked contender, and now he's taking on Brundage, who just lost to Cedric West Dumas. Granted, it was on short notice, has 3 losses in a row. Malhoun styles on him. This is not going to be a close fight. The next one, and I feel like I like this one because it's reasonably priced. I got Andre Fialho to knock out Tim Means. I actually think at minus 160 for the age differential between the two. Not a significant height difference. The reach only 1 inch in the difference favoring Means. The knockout power, though, way favoring Fialho. And he's only 29. And yeah, Buckley knocked him out last time. Yes, he's got 3 straight knockout losses. But at 29, you can bounce back from things like that. Tim Means is on a 3-fight losing streak, but he's a decade older. I think Fialho's going to win, guys. Fialho by knockout is only plus 100. Not my favorite line. Fialho minus 160. I think if you're looking to throw out Fialho, potentially you're putting him as an addition to the parlays, more on the value side. Yes, it's still a confident call, and I am picking him in the most confident pick section here. But I guess of the bunch, I would say maybe he's not the number one, right? The wider lines, yeah, they happen to be there for the others, but they are a little bit more confident. I'm going Fialho to win by knockout. I do think he looked more patient against Buckley last time out, so I think he pulls it off here this time against Tim Means. I'm going to include him in the section. And then the next one is Mizuki Inoue at minus 305 to beat Hannah Goldy. She's just a significantly better fighter. Now, the issue lies upon she had a 3-year layoff, which I don't necessarily love. Still going to include her here because I think that she's going to be way better technically than Hannah Goldy, though she might be slightly outmatched in the physicality department. Now, Inoue to win by a decision is kind of what I'm feeling here. A minus 130, terrible line. Inoue would be more of a parlay piece as opposed to a straight money line, but I do think she pulls it off. Now, I'll tell you guys this. I was considering including Tamaris Vidal in the section, and I'll call her an honorable mention in this section, and I think her and Fialho could potentially be flipped out. But the reason that I did not include her here, because I said to myself, man, I don't want 3 of the 4 most confident picks to be female fights. So yes, I'm confident in her, and you're going to hear her name again on this show. So stay tuned for the prop section specifically, because I think I got a good idea what to do with Vidal. But I want to let you guys know, confidence-wise, I'm high confidence on her too. Just to throw it out there, I do expect her to get the win. Let's jump to the favorite underdog section. Unfortunately, I'm just going to call this the favorite underdog section this week because I'm not crazy about a ton of dogs. Doesn't mean there aren't live dogs that could bark, but I'm giving you the dogs that I picked to win the fights that I expect to come to fruition. Looking at it, it's going to be Miles Johns by knockout. Plus 146 for Miles Johns. Dan Argueta at minus 171. Johns by KO plus 500. I think it's going to end up happening. I mean, I know that Dan Argueta's a workhorse, but I was surprised these lines were flipped like this. I thought that it was going to be Miles Johns at minus 170 and then Dan Argueta as an underdog here because Johns can wrestle his ass off. Johns has knockout power in his hands. Argueta, yeah, he was looking real good against Ronnie Lawrence last time out. Fight stopped, inconclusively with a bad referee stoppage there, and he didn't get a W, but he was looking like a savage. Still, though, Miles Johns can crack really hard, and he could definitely win this fight. I like Miles Johns as a dog. I think he's going to pull it off at plus 146. I think he's live here. So he's going to be the favorite underdog in this section here. And honestly, guys, I want to keep running up. I want to jump to a section that gets me more hyped than this one. Yeah, I'm hype on the dog, Miles Johns. But at the end of the day, the dog section this week, you know you got a Pitbull and Dan Argueta on the other side. So it's really a battle of dogs here. I'm going to say Miles Johns is live to get the knockout. But I want to jump to the prop/value value bets because I think I got some interesting ideas with that section that you guys might be intrigued by. So Vidal, who is a high confidence pick. She's a more confident pick than the favorite underdog this week, Miles Johns. She's right in there with the level of confidence on Fialho. To be honest, that's why I had to include her as an honorable mention. I just didn't want to drop a 5-peat because I like just doing 4. But the reason, too, that she was left out of it is because I said, you know what? I can give you guys some heat with her that's not just the straight money line. Because the money line's minus 220. But what I do have that's straight heat with her is if you look at the knockout prop, Vidal, KO, plus 450. Montserrat Rendon is an awful striker, and Timaris Vidal is more than capable of knocking her out. So that right there is a prop to watch for certain. Also in this one, over 1.5 at minus 225. I don't love the tag, but I think it comes to fruition. Mohammed Usman, I couldn't put him in the favorite dog section because it's an even money line, but note that he opened up as a dog, and if he was an underdog, I'd be happy to put him in there because I think he's quite live to win the fight. That over 1.5 is real sneaky, though, and I don't think you're crazy if you want to put Mohammed Usman in a potential value parlay. He definitely could outwork a Jake Collier in the later rounds, and even he does have the stopping power to shut the lights off. And then Bryce Mitchell to win by a decision. I think Bryce can pull this one out. I think we're going long. Mitchell on the cards, ugly, minus 115, but still worth mentioning with the over 2.5 at minus 225. I'm pretty confident with Bryce Mitchell too, but I recognize that Dan Ige is an absolute savage test on the opposite side. And then Fiziev, who I have in the main event, I'll read off Fiziev by knockout. It's plus 150. Don't love the line, but I am predicting he wins it by knockout, and I felt I needed to include him on the slate. And then there's one more, and this one is over 2.5 at minus 130 with Jourdain and Ramos. I think it's a super competitive fight where they go long 3 hard rounds. I'm going to say Jourdain ends up getting it 29-28, but I know a lot of people that think Ramos can pull it off, and he's a live dog, and I'm a Ramos fan, so that's why I'm not crazy about the money line in that fight, because the fact if I like both guys, I'm kind of rooting for one that I'm picking against, I'd rather stay off. I like that matchup. The over 2.5 is interesting at minus 130. Those right there are the props. I want to jump to the next section, the parlays. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Let's clean the slate off here, man. I'm not going to throw anything degen at you out the gate. What I'm going to do for the parlay to start things off nice and smooth with this section, I'm going to use my lock of the week, Bryan Battle, who I'm very confident in, with Jacob Malhoun, who is also a very high confidence pick on the card. An ugly money line for Malhoun, but when you parlay him up with Bryan Battle at minus 117, guys, I'm feeling super good about the parlay. This is the safer parlay this week for sure. I like this one a ton. The safer ones have been doing pretty well, and I think that this is a good way to do it. A little safety. Now, add a little steam to it, we'll go the women's matchup. We're going to go Marina Rodriguez at plus 148 now, adding in the minus 300 favorite of Marina Rodriguez. This right here is a good little trifecta that uses the 2 high confidence picks with the lock of the week, and I think there's a real good chance of this one hitting on this card here as well. Now, to add a little bit more to the lineup, we have 2 ways we can do it. First, I'm going to go with the over 1.5 in the Collier-Usman fight out of curiosity, plus 247 for that one, but I know some people might want to stay off the over between heavyweights, but let's be real, guys. Jake Collier, Mohammed Usman, they're 2 heavyweights that sure have, finishing ability per se, but you can all see a clinch heavy fight, especially at the UFC Apex, that small cage. I expect a lot of grappling entanglement. So that little addition to these 3 is actually a good idea. But if you want to just do a fighter, you're like, bro, I need a fighter. I want to do it on a fighter. Okay. We could add in the side of Fialho, who brings it to plus 289, who's a minus 175 favorite. Now, I think you could go Inoue as well. Now we're getting it to plus 420. And for reasons, that's a magical number. I think there's a real chance of this one. But we're degenning it because we got 5 favorites here. Now, most confidence pick section, which normally is doing pretty well with the sweeps, but we're at the apex, and shit gets weird at the apex. So, keep it on the safer side. Plus 420 is quite live. If I added in Vidal now, I got plus 650. Then we're going degen. I'm going to add in the over there, plus 952 if we ride with that. Add in the side of Bryce Mitchell. We got plus 1477. Holy shit, that's some madness, right? There's a good chance for it. I really believe that. Now, I'll throw Johns as a dog in the lineup. Miles Johns with Brian Battle plus 295 and Malhoun plus 377 if you want to add a dog to your slate. At the end of the day, I'll say it like this. You're going to chase the plus money side by adding in a dog or wanting to add in more fights. Yeah, sure, you can definitely hit. And there's a real shot that this ends up coming through. But ultimately, the highest confidence calls on the fights, regardless of the lines, is how I try to look at it these days. And that's where my results have now been the highest. I'm on a 5-lock streak because I'm not overly obsessed about just chasing the line. Now I got Brian Battle, who's a playable money line, with another high confidence call of Malhoun. Like at the minus 114-ish range, this one right here makes a ton of sense. Because I really feel like it's a surefire hitter. I'm not throwing it down on Inoue, who I think has a real good chance to beat Hannah Goldie. She's technically better, but I'll throw up the red flag, right? You could say, okay, but bro, she didn't fight in 3 years. She's better than Hannah Goldie. Let me throw in Fialho. He's been knocked out a few times in a row. Still a high confidence picks, but I just want to give you guys, a little fruit for thought. Now, Rodriguez, obviously, who I already listed in here, is a pretty good call that I think has a real good chance of winning the fight. I'm looking at more, though. I want to add in something different. Something different. Do I go with the side of Bryce Mitchell? Do I go with the over in this fight, which is real close money? Do I go with the over in the Collier fight, which is, not great money, plus 856 now for these right here? That's an interesting one. That is. Mitchell at the top's going to get taken out, though, to close it off, because I feel like I would rather do plus 537 with Battle, Malhoun, Rodriguez, and an over that I think has a real good chance to hit with the Jourdain and Ramos fight, and an over that has a real good chance to hit with the Usman-Collier fight. I like this one a bit if you're going a little more D-gen, so you don't just have to go straight picking fighters that are going to win. You go 3 of the highest confident picks on the card. You guys know what my highest confident picks are now with Battle, Malhoun, and Rodriguez. Those are the big 3. The section most confident picks, I like to drop 4, so add in 2 little extensions to it this week, but not the same level of confidence with these 3. That's it, guys. That's the parlay section. Bet it intelligently. Give it your best whirl. Much love to the people watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And to the OGs of the channel, do you notice the new backdrop? You notice that? MMA experts with the freaking gloves on. God bless my neighbor for giving me that. Good family friend. And I thought that was a tremendous gift. Much love, my people. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Let me know your lock of the week in the comments. Throw some of your most confident picks, favorite dogs, props, parlays that you're thinking about potentially betting on. I'm definitely curious where your guys' heads are at. If you got nothing to say in those comments, we just enjoy the content. As always, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Make sure you smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and put them to all. Don't just leave them on personalized. Put them to all so you don't miss a video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Much love. I'll see you throughout the week with the daily content, so keep your eyes locked on the MMA Experts channel. Much love, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.